back to Classic Banjo Lessons with Aaron Jonah Lewis. That's me. This is going to be episode 11, in which we will talk for a minute about intervals, and we will play through the exercise in thirds and talk about some of the difficulties that we might encounter with that. So, at the top of the page, intervals by number. Interval is the distance between two notes. It often helps to know what the intervals are that you're dealing with, because it will correspond to finger shapes and also to sounds. So it's kind of a shorthand for understanding what you're dealing with. So thirds are a very common interval. They are the basis of triads, which is what we call chords, and or some of the chords that we deal with are triads, or they're built on triads. So they call a primary unison. It's like what we talked about in the tuning video. Two notes that are the same note. That's a unison. A second is one or two half steps, a minor second or a major second. That's fun. And on the piano, it's easy to see as well, because if you have, one note apart, that's a half step or a whole step, also known as a second. Then there's thirds, minor third, major third, a fourth. This is a tritone, also known as a augmented fourth or a diminished fifth, and then a fifth. That's a distinctive sound. Minor sixth, major sixth, and minor seventh, major seventh, octave, and minor ninth. Each of these intervals, you can train your ear to recognize them by using familiar sounds. Like, for example, a minor second. Right? You know what that is. So, or another one, for example, a major sixth. I think of so that's easy to remember for me. Anyway, I could give examples for each interval, but I'm going to leave it up to you. Or if you ask me to, I'll make a separate video. Let's move on to the exercise in thirds. Now, before I start playing this, I want to tell you that the hardest part that most people have, the hardest part for most people is in the second half of the second bar, when you're playing F on the fourth string and A on the third string at the same time. That's a bit of a reach. That we might not have done something like that before. I find it helpful to have my thumb behind where my index is going to go, but also, again, to keep this straight, not doing any of this, not touching the neck with my palm, keeping that space. That gives me room to really stretch out my hand. If I'm like this, then it hurts. I can't do it. If I have my hand open, you want like wide open. So, coming from that place, the index and thumb can kind of make contact with the neck, and then you should be able to reach your pinky over there. If you need to, just kind of wiggle around with your elbow and your wrist to find that space. But I think you'll be able to do it. Take your time moving from one position to the next, and make sure you pay attention to your body and don't hurt yourself. Just take it easy. So I'll just play this at a slow tempo that you can practice along with me here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. played that too many times. I'm gonna start over because I got excited about showing you when I'm shifting. It's marked in the book, but we'll do it again. You might want to practice it slower than that. That's actually a good tempo to aim for eventually. One other thing I noticed that I should point out, right, at letter C, in the third bar, the first note of the second beat, that is a C and E, not a B and E. Okay, so it's all thirds. The other thing I haven't mentioned is in this piece we're barring a fret with one finger. With the fourth finger, this is going to happen a lot starting at letter B. Okay, now to do that, you just want to kind of I'm just kind of leaning with my hand. My hand is leaning into it a little bit, and I'm even using my third finger, my ring finger, to push on the fourth finger a little bit. Now you don't have to do it that way, but you do want to think about pulling from here, from this part of your arm. You're pulling down, and at the same time you have a curve, and that kind of makes it a bit stronger than if you were straight on. You want to have this curve. So as you're moving around, say in the fourth line, so like that. Nicely done, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.